Steve, how are you,
Yeah,
brother?
great.
So let's do like a quick intro.
Okay.
Who you are? How do we meet? And then we're gonna jump into this completely awesome thing that I think I'm so excited to talk about. We've been excited to talk about this for months. So first, let's get an intro.
Okay. I'm Steve. I've known, I've known you for a while, but my online presence is under Zen Motorcycle Man, and that's the website and all the social stuff as well. Um, I guess you can talk about how we first met, like
Yeah.
in the Maryland area.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So I was still in the military. I was still in the Navy, and we actually met at a meetup group at this like screenwriters meetup group. And then it was one of those things where we were all sitting down, and everybody's kind of talking about projects they wish they started or things they like or whatever. And I'm like, hey, why don't we just do something? And then you're like, you jumped up and you were like, yes.
Well, maybe you should back up a little bit. The when I was there before you, and
Yeah.
probably about an hour or two, and the it was just droning on about people talking about, well, I want to do, and nobody actually was doing anything. And then you show up and you're like, hey, I want to do a project, and I was like, yes, let's go, let's do stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're very action orientated. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It was cool, and then yeah, I think we, ironically, I got so bogged down with having to work a lot, and then we tried to get projects going, but then we found out we just had so many different cool things in common. I mean, everything from like conspiracies and aliens and all kinds of cool stuff, and then not till I was leaving Maryland to come move out to California, did I've always had a love of motorcycles, and so this is primarily what we're going to talk about today,
Mhm.
especially this trip and everything you went on. But I'd always had on my bucket list to first learn how to ride a motorcycle and then go cross country. So it condensed it. And you had experience riding before, right?
Sure. Yeah, I grew up riding motorcycles, mostly like dirt bikes and what else? I had a street bike and all my friends in the area where I grew up in a rural area in New Jersey, and we that's all we did because we couldn't really do much
Yeah.
else. And so we just tore up the woods. We were pretty close to the Appalachian Trail actually, and we went up around that area too. Is primarily the New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania area, and yeah, I just had a blast. We used to go camping too off of bikes, and yeah, real hick lifestyle, but we loved it.
Yeah,
So
real hick lifestyle.
yeah.
I didn't have any of that experience doing it, so this was it was all brand new to me. But I know from what we did a 2 week cross country motorcycle trip, and I had only learned like 3 months before, got a
Mhm.
brand new bike, and did it. I fell absolutely in love, and for everybody listening, like this is the best way to see the country if you can do it.
Yeah, it really is. 'Cause I guess it's kind of the closest way to kind of do it like as they used to do it, like on horseback. It's kind of like because you're experiencing the environment as you go through it, and it's just uh, there's no way to describe it. It's just like
Yeah.
freedom and liberating as you're going through, and then we're talking on our intercoms, as
Yeah.
we're going through it and just experiencing amazing things, and we're
Oh,
like, "Wow, did you see that over there, the sunset?" Or
yeah.
just great. And then we hit like a couple of national parks. We hit um, Badlands in South Dakota. We hit what else? Yosemite. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. Chaco Canyon. We'll we'll
Kind
talk
of.
about that a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
That one's cool.
Yeah. So I think from that experience, it seemed like you took it uh, much further.
Yeah.
So why don't we dive into it? I would love for you just to like run with this, and then
Hmm.
because I know you have so many stories, and I would I hope we get to all of it, but let's why don't we start? You have a slideshow of media, so we're gonna wind up cutting. So if you're just listening to this, we'll try to describe as we go, and we'll play it that way. But
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. So basically, what I did is I'd been planning this trip forever. at least 3 years. I've been planning, saving, and just knowing that I want to do this trip, which was going to be hitting a lot of bucket list items of things that I didn't hit before or we didn't hit before. So it was all over the place. We went. I mean, I basically was doing a Google Maps, My Maps, and just putting pins on the map, and just until it was like crazy populated.
Mm.
And then I tried to figure out, well, how can I snake through and hit all the pins, or at least most of the pins on the way as I was going, or for my trip. So. And I learned a few things from our art time when we did our trip. Uh, One is time. It's so much better to stretch it out
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
and spend more time at locations and doing things versus rushing through and just hitting
Yeah.
spots. So I wanted to make sure I had enough time to do what I wanted to do, uh, and basically hit national parks, additional ones, state parks, and just local attractions and things like that. Um, and then some weird stuff like that's great. Atlas Obscura is really good.
Yeah.
It's a resource to find out like really cool weird things to hit along the way. So yeah, after I was planning all this out, I had I had my bike, so I wanted to make sure it's really it's a Harley Davidson Sportster. It's a small bike. It's not really meant for going across country or any long distance motorcycle work or riding. But so I had to kind of modify it to help it out. So we can go to the slides here.
Yeah, but actually, I had
Oh yeah,
before that.
Mhm.
What was that? Go a little bit closer to the mic.
Yeah.
What was when you got back after that first trip, that first whirlwind trip,
Yes.
and you were recouped? What was that initial like? Oh my god, I have to now do this again.
Oh, well, it was, I had, like I said, I grew up riding motorcycles, and I loved it, and it was my thing. And then, I grew up and I was like, oh, I kind of, wasn't doing it anymore. And, when we had our trip and you're like, hey, let's do this, I was like, oh, hell yeah. So, uh, so yeah, that's when I got back into it. As far as that reignited my love for doing it. It was just like, oh, it was like that's all I could think about. Is like I got to do this again. I got to
Yeah.
do. I got to, so yeah. It's funny because ever since then, I had been talking about it with everybody, and everybody's
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god, stop talking about it!" Like, I know, yeah, you're gonna do it, and like, and then, then I actually did it, and they're like, "Oh, you're actually gonna do it again?" It's like, yeah, I was like, I told you,
Yeah,
like,
I remember all of your gear lists and all of the
yeah.
research and the places you were gonna hit, and I was like, okay, I had no idea you were gonna actually do it. I mean, because it took a couple years of all of this
Well,
planning and
yeah. So everything I was planning it, and then then something, then COVID, and
yeah,
this. And
yeah,
there's always something that totally disrupted what I was doing, and I was doing real detailed itineraries as far as what I was going to be doing, and then I just forgot all that because, and I just stuck to doing the Google map where I was putting pins on the map. And I go, when I'm ready to leave or very close and it's imminent, then I will, do an itinerary that's a little bit closer to that because it just kept getting blown up every time I was ready to go.
yeah,
Something else happened. So
yeah. Did you? So you were planning to go right before COVID hit, or was
yeah,
it?
yeah, it was actually right when COVID hit. It was when,
Dang.
yeah.
Could you imagine if you were on the road and,
Oh my
and then the
gosh! Yeah,
world
I
is
know.
burning and
Yeah, it was. There was a lot going. Yeah, obviously going on at the
yeah,
time, and there were other things going on too. So like, yeah, I'm very. It all worked out.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay. Yeah.
Mm.
Sorry. Let's
Hmm.
let's dive in.
Okay.
Take it.
All right. So, yeah, you can see this is the motorcycle I have. It's a Harley Davidson Sportster. And let me get a little closer to the mic. It's really a around town rider. It's not really
This
meant
was
for long
the
distance.
similar bike to what you
It's pretty
rode the
much
first
the
time.
exact same bike.
Yeah.
The one that I took out when we on our trip was I think a 2013 custom 1200 Sportster, which is this one's a 2014.
Yeah.
So
Pretty much same bike.
it's
Yeah.
pretty much the same. And the reason I had gotten this bike is, familiarity. It's fairly cheap, and I just like the bike.
Yeah.
People say, it doesn't have a fairing, it doesn't have a windscreen, it doesn't, so
I
like
didn't find that to be an issue when we were
it
riding.
really isn't. And actually, I kind of like it for a couple different reasons. One, I just like the challenge.
Yeah.
But like two, you really, really experience the environment as you're going through it, and there's nothing between you. It's kind of like riding a bicycle when you're a kid.
Yeah.
It's just you riding a bicycle.
Yeah.
Like so. There's nothing interfering with the experience that you're, as far as what you're doing. Yeah, you do get a lot more buffeting and some wind stuff, but like I'm used to it. I don't really go that fast.
Yeah.
And I try and stay off of highways as much as possible, so it's really not an issue.
Yeah, and I had never, had much experience with it, and I didn't find that was, the biggest issue even for, because that was one of the fears that I was like, oh my gosh, all this wind constantly for whatever 8 hours,
Mhm.
a day. Never that actually, I think because when we went during the summer, so it
Mhm.
actually cooled us down a lot.
Yeah.
So I think it worked in our favor. Except, so your bike definitely was a lot better than my bike. Was definitely not made for cross country, and it
No.
also had that small little like peanut tank. It's like
Yeah.
so. We were constantly having to stop every couple of hours, which was good, I guess, to relax and everything. But it definitely, if you were on a time limit, you need a bigger tank, heavier bike.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Better, yeah. Obviously, we weren't using bikes that were meant to go long distance,
Yep.
but like, so what?
Yeah.
People do it all the time. I've seen
Yeah.
people on like Vespas go around, like
Sure.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like get on it and go, hit the road and things will work out,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So in our trip we did yeah, we were camping out and doing stuff and a little bit hotels too. Um but yeah, it was yeah, I learned a lot through that experience. That was my first real long distance motorcycle trip. So
So
I don't know
what
for
what
you.
made you so as far as the gear to
Hmm.
pack, what 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 was your strategy, and then what did you learn from?
So I knew this was going to happen. So I was preparing for the trip, and I had a deadline set, which was a self-imposed deadline. Um, there's a motorcycle rally that happens in Montana. I'll talk a little bit about that later, but it's a Rocky Mountain Roll. It's hosted by Amanda Zito and her family up on their ranch up in Corvallis, Montana. The um, she has a YouTube channel, and she does a lot of motorcycle adventure riding, and does camping and motorcycling and just long distance travel and stuff like that. So that I use that as a my kind of impetus to okay, this is when it's going to happen. It's so that way it would help force me to do it.
Mm,
And so I was preparing. I was still getting stuff coming in. Um, that I was provisioning for the trip, and it was just haphazard. Like I was getting stuff like the day that I was leaving, it was still coming in the mail. And there's stuff that like I had to leave behind because I didn't get there in time. So or
mm,
I left after the stuff came, and it was it was pretty interesting because like I was like, all right, I got these big dry bags, and like like obviously I overpacked because some of the stuff was still in the boxes. I didn't have time to
really? And then you
yeah,
oh my gosh,
yeah.
that's funny.
So it was obviously horribly packed, and I packed big time. But I knew I would be able to send stuff back if I had to, and
Yeah.
that's what I wound up doing as I went along. And then also, I had to prepare for a lot of different conditions. I had to prepare for rain, cold, heat, and all kinds of things. And
Yeah, because you were leaving in the fall.
it was No,
No,
it
sorry,
was
that
like
you
this. It was in the summer. It was
summer.
like I left like it was early July. I can't remember the exact date.
And so, okay, just to zoom out, so
Mm.
you left about mid to late summer,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got here in November, right?
October.
October, was it
I think
October?
I can't remember.
Yeah, so a few
Yeah.
months of
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
on the road.
Uh huh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you're about, and then you're about halfway through the trip right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we took it took a
Yes.
few months off, and he's staying with me and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the new family and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
which is cool. And then so you will effectively be on the road for probably about a half a year doing this, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'll be about 6 months by the time on there. But like on the road, like I've been here for what, almost like 3 months or
Yeah.
so. So like I don't really count that. Um, if we're going to like as far as like stats, as far as like what I've been on the road for, hold on, let's see. So I've got them here. Where are they? I know it's been about. I have about 15,000 miles on my bike.
Wow.
Um, and like for the trip start to here, and I still got, now I'm going back. So like
Yeah.
so I was going to add more to it. I was on the road, and by the time I got here it was about like 95 days. um so that's what I consider being on the road
Yeah.
versus
3
being
months.
here.
Yeah.
And then I'm going back to Florida. It'll take me, yeah, because I'm taking my time and hitting some spots along the way, and like um, I usually don't like to travel more than 300 miles a day. Doesn't sound like much, and it really isn't. But I found that's
Mm-hmm.
the right mileage um, to be on the road, because I want to get there in plenty of time, like to camp and set up and do whatever I need to do, and then the next day I take to explore the area wherever I'm
Yeah.
at,
Absolutely.
and then or more, like if I need to, and and then hit the road the following day, and that leaves me enough time to ride, and I'm not under any pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I just found it's a lot, that's a happy medium for me,
Yep.
as far as riding. And I try to stay off the highways, because
Yeah.
bike is
Yeah.
not meant for it. Plus that's not enjoyable riding.
Yeah.
The whole point of being on a motorcycle is to explore the back roads
Right.
and see the sights. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Incredible.
Hmm.
Yeah. So what,
All right, so yeah, let's hop back in here. So we've got so this is my bike. Like I said, I had to get a bunch of mods to it, so to kind of make it a little bit more long distance capable. I got a luggage rack. I got a sissy bar so I could tie the bags to it. I got luggage rack or saddlebag mounts so I could put that on. I had to have the rear tail lights moved back. I got new pipes. I got let's see what else. Oh, phone. That was really important, getting the phone charger and that
oh yeah,
and
so you can
holder.
mount your phone on your yeah.
Very critical because
Yep.
pretty much that's what I use for everything, navigation,
Yeah.
and everything. So um, yeah, and then I got some other stuff like I got LED lights, headlights, and things like that. So, but yeah, that's my bike that
Yeah.
I that I'm on, and I'm still traveling through on that. So,
Yeah.
um, so along the way, I had to do like a lot of maintenance stuff. Like I had to get new tires. I had to get
Oh, while you were out?
yeah, oh yeah, and then I had to get because the bags were so much weight on the rear tire, it was basically flattened. Like the tire was almost worn
Wow.
through. Yeah, it was. I I really put a lot of miles on it, so like it was really feeling it. Then there's a lot of other stuff I got done, like my I'll talk about it, like my kickstand or broke, and so I had to reach under and like flip it down whenever it was yeah, it was kind of a deal. So but there was an incident that was kind of funny that we'll get to it, but that kind of plays into that.
Okay,
So
cool.
so this is the map of kind of the plan I had laid out as far as where getting to the motorcycle rally up in Montana.
Hmm.
So pretty much going straight up, and I wanted to go. I mean, I could have gone South Dakota, but I've already done that. I haven't been to North Dakota. We went through Wisconsin and
Hmm.
Minnesota,
Hmm.
and they were beautiful. Oh my gosh! Like when I met, there was some of the stuff we were talking about when we were going on our ride. It was like I wasn't expecting it to be that great, and
Yeah.
it was really nice. And so yeah, I wanted to see what was in North Dakota. So like I did that, and surprisingly, I think it was Theodore Roosevelt Park there, right before you get into Montana.
Hmm.
It was really cool. And everybody says, "Oh, you're going to see bison. You're going to see bison." I didn't see anything.
Really?
No, it was pissing me off because everybody's like, "Oh, did you see the bison? I see him all the time. I see him." I was
Yeah,
like,
you see all
"No, I
those
didn't see him. I
the
didn't see."
videos where like the bison will like you'll be stopping on a motorcycle and then like a herd of bison will be like going by and then one or the ones where they tip you over and
Yeah.
yeah.
That well, I didn't see any of that, and I was like, well, I'll have plenty of other opportunities to see bison as I go,
Yeah.
on my further on my trip. But I was really getting pissed off because everybody was talking about it. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, I see him every day. So this is just getting to the motorcycle rally, and I'll show you some of the pics for that. But in a minute, I'm going to show you like all the stops like to get to here, and that's that map. So
Wow.
yeah, that's like all the little stops that we had, that I had, going through here. I basically went everywhere in Montana. I went all these back roads and everywhere in Montana, like up and down, like and
What specifically about Montana was it that was like that you were just so focused on?
um I hadn't been to the state, and there was a lot of things that I wanted to see. Glacier Park being obviously one of them. So and the I love it was, and it's amazing. I'll show you some of the pictures, and you'll see. But just the whole area in general, I was just I wanted to really explore it and see what else was there. There was Lolo Pass that kind of goes through into Idaho, which is just an amazing motorcycle road. There's Beartooth Pass, which is a real famous one that is just across the border into Montana. Um, as you go from Yellowstone, that one's pretty awesome. It's got really the twisties are amazing as you're
Mm.
going up. Um, yeah, so there's tons of stuff. So I went all through Montana, uh, down through Idaho. I hit like a ton of spots there, and then went into Wyoming. Hit pretty much everything in Wyoming because when we went on our trip, I was loving Wyoming.
Yeah, Wyoming's gorgeous.
Yeah, it was really incredible. I wanted to spend more time there.
Plus, it was really it was beautiful because the rolling hills
Yeah,
was so much fun to ride.
yeah,
I remember we wanted to stop like a few times just to be like, hey, we got to stop and just let's just take a minute and
yeah.
like appreciate what the hell we're looking at right now because it's so gorgeous.
Oh yeah, it was incredible, and yeah, we got to stay in. We were in Torrington,
Hmm.
and I'm trying to think somewhere else. Lusk when we went through.
Hmm.
Um, we had the pizza place. Is that what
Yeah.
it's called? So I was like, and it was actually pretty good.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, for Wyoming, I was like, they're pretty good. So yeah, and then we stayed over in Torrington, and then we kind of headed out after that. So we didn't really get to see much on our trip, but on my trip, I saw everything in
Mm.
Wyoming, so I was really happy about that. And then came through Colorado. There was a ton of things I wanted to see in Colorado that I hadn't seen. Um, we went and we hit Denver and Breckenridge,
Yeah.
and then we kind of zipped out of there.
Which was so crazy to see. We were in the middle of summer in Breckenridge and there was snow. Like people were skiing.
Yeah,
That was insane.
yeah. Yeah, it was pretty neat. Yeah, Breckenridge is a great town.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff I didn't see. I wanted to see like Pikes Peak, Mount Evans, Colorado Springs. So there's tons of stuff that I wanted to see, and yeah, I pretty much hit everything there. Went into Arizona, and and there I pretty much hit the border between Arizona and Utah. There was a lot of stuff there that I wanted to see, and went pretty much throughout Arizona, up into a couple spots into Utah again, and then came back down and headed into California and then here. So on my trip going up to the motorcycle rally, this is an Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which was really cool. I got to go see that. The museum there is pretty awesome, and it's just one of the like if you're in Indianapolis, and you don't go here,
Yeah. Yeah.
were you even there?
Yeah.
So, this was me going into North Dakota. I just gone into North Dakota, and it was really, I mean, just amazing. The skies and the country was pretty beautiful. Obviously, there wasn't a ton of like population or major sights to see, but it was really like when I got towards the western edge of North Dakota. That's when Theodore Roosevelt Park was there, and they had a whole bunch of cool things to see, and it was a really nice park. This is still in North Dakota. I had stayed at a campsite in somewhere outside of Bismarck, and talked to another motorcycle guy from Canada, and he told me about this spot that's right on the
So
Mississippi.
how did you meet this other motorcycle guy?
Just at the campsite,
Oh.
like
So there were other people
Oh yeah.
on these, and then you got so how about so I guess on the trip you would how did so you would stay at a campsite, see somebody else with a motorcycle doing the same thing. They're
Mhm.
out there camping and minimalizing and everything, and then you
Yeah.
guys get together, hook up, and then you know
Yeah,
fi-
actually, I think he came up to me. Like he saw me he saw what I was doing with the motorcycle and camping, and he's like, "Hey, how you doing?"
oh cool.
Typical Canadian. Oh, how many kilometers did you ride today? So I was like,
8.
I was like, yeah. So yeah, no, he's a great guy. Actually, he was gonna tear off the his motorcycle bell, Gremlin bell, off his bike and give it to me
Oh,
since he saw that I didn't have one. I was like, no,
wow.
it's like I figured you or someone else was going to be getting me one. So I was like, so I didn't let him give it to me.
Yeah.
Actually, my friend Spencer, who I met along the way,
Yeah.
gave me
Yeah.
one of his. So yeah, people like saying like you're traveling by yourself on a motorcycle, you're gonna be gone for all this time. Don't you get lonely on the road? I was like, no freaking way. I meet so many people every single day. Like every day, I'll meet them at gas stations, campsites, uh, the bunker biker program, which I'll talk about, and just everywhere. I meet people. I must meet like 15 people a day, and yeah, it's just amazing.
Let's explain what the bell.
hmm
What is it?
So
Yeah.
it's a gremlin bell. It's like this, I don't know, legend, like that they have. It's this little bell that you hang on your motorcycle, and it's supposed to keep the gremlins away that will break down your bike or potholes and things like that. And you're not allowed to buy, well, you can, but like you're not supposed to buy the bell yourself. You have to be given the
Mhm.
bell, and then they tell you this this whole story about how it keeps the gremlins away.
Why gremlins? Do you know?
I don't know, stuff that will like mess up your bike, or
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you know
It's so funny.
interfere with your travel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so that's the Gremlin Bell thing. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a cute folklore kind of thing
Yeah.
for the motorcycle community. Which if you're not in the motorcycle community, you probably don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's it. So this was in Minnesota. It was on the western bank of the Mississippi.
Mm.
He told me about it. He's like, yeah, I stayed there the other night. It's like it's right on the Mississippi. I was like, well, I got to do that. So
Yeah.
so yeah, this is the area. I think it was only $10 or something. It was real cheap. Like if you pay for things, like especially once you get out west, the camp places are amazing,
Yeah.
and most of them are free. And if you got to pay, it's like $10. It's not really a lot.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. So
So
yeah.
what is that? That orange sea to summit? Is
Yeah,
that your sleeping
that's
pad?
a sleeping pad for
Okay.
my yeah, that I have. So like actually it was kind of interesting. Usually I'll set up the tent and everything and do that. But this time I cuz the weather was great and I knew that it was going to rain. It wasn't going to rain and so I was like, "You know what? Let me just try this." I heard about people doing it. So I was like, I'm going to actually sleep on the table. So the picnic table. So I had that pad and I put it up on the picnic table and I just slept on,
Nice.
on that for the night. And it was weird because I heard like the bats come in at
Oh,
night and
you don't. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But I was like, yeah, they're not gonna bother me.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. I was right on the Mississippi banks there, and um, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was glad I was able to hit that spot. And this is a picture of the motorcycle rally once I got there in Corvallis. Here is, I mean, unfortunately, I took it like at the last day, so there was everybody had already left. So like,
Oh,
there,
so how
yeah,
would you think like double the amount of people
yeah,
in this? Oh wow.
yeah. It was. I mean, it sounds like a low number, and it is, but like as far as the people that were there, I think it was under 100. It's like 98 people, but like it looked like it was like 500 people.
Wow.
Um, and here's like a little video here that's just scanning. You can kind of see. It was a lot of fun. It's a very chill event. That's why I went there. I knew it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like anything crazy like Sturgis or the one in Daytona. Um, where they have all these crazy things going on and like bands and like this was very, very, very chill. So it was a great place to meet people. And actually, I wound up meeting like a bunch of people. Um, and one of the guys I wound up staying with, Steve, I can't remember his last name, but I wound up staying with him in Mesa, Arizona, when I was passing back through. Well, I'll show you a picture of some of the sites when I was back in when I was in Arizona, which was pretty amazing.
Mm.
So yeah, you meet friends.
How long did this? How long was this?
The rally was only like 3 days,
Okay.
maybe 4.
Okay.
So yeah, it wasn't too crazy, but like they had like little events, like you could go on these day rides, out local. There's Chief Joseph Highway, which is like a big kind of motorcycle road,
Mm.
which kind of heads into Idaho. It was kind of right in that border area, and actually the next picture will be like we went up to Missoula, Montana,
Mm.
and well, that's another picture of the rally. That one's a little bit better. It shows a little bit more of the people and things that were going on. It was a lot of fun, um, and just really just relaxing kind of time.
Mm-hmm.
Like you didn't have to worry about too much. It's kind of funny because it was a cow pasture, so and they're like it's a working farm. There's cows everywhere, so like if you see where you want to put your tent, and there's a cow pie there. We got a shovel. You can just move it.
Amazing.
So yeah, it was a lot, very homey and fun. It was great time. And yeah, Amanda and her family are just wonderful hosts, for that event.
And they've been doing this for a long time.
I think about 5 years. About I don't know. I have to look at this site. I can't remember, but I think yeah, it hasn't been too long.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, here's another picture of the just the campsite, and I think that's a Himalaya motorcycle. Yeah. Here's up in Missoula. This is awesome distillery. It was a
Mm.
distillery there. It's I think Montgomery Distillery in Missoula, and you can tell they're just fanatics about motorcycles. You can see them right here. This is the bar area.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. The guy who owns the place is awesome. I'll show you a picture of him. And you can just see the motorcycles everywhere. That's the bar area, and this is down in the distillery area. They got all these motorcycles there too. So
Wow.
like, yeah, they're.
So what do they do? They collect them. It looks like they kind of have them on.
I'm not sure, but I think they might collect them, and that they just have them on display as far as like because I guess it's very popular too. Like people up in that area,
Yeah.
are into motorcycle riding. And yeah, here's us in front of the distillery there, and
Now,
that's
who's this next to you?
I can't remember his first name. I can't remember his last name is Montgomery because that's the distillery name. But yeah, he was real
Love his like
friendly.
handlebar mustache.
Oh yeah,
Good for you.
yeah, yeah. He's super nice guy. Great, and the booze there was awesome. Like at the
What a
bar.
cool place.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Lot of fun. So after the rally was over, I wanted to spend a lot of time up at Glacier National Park because that was one that I definitely wanted to be at. So I spent like a whole week there, and I actually got a place there. So like I knew I had to be charging batteries. I wanted to dump my bags and be able to have freedom to to head into the park every day.
Where could you get electricity?
Well, it was I stayed at like
Like a cabin or something?
yeah, it's like a little cabin.
Okay.
Yeah. They had it set up. It was really nice, really nice. But yeah, Glacier Park, awesome, and I'll talk a little bit more about that because I got a bunch of pictures. Yeah, here's me heading into the park. Just amazing. It's it's literally breathtaking. I know that sounds kind of corny and
Hmm.
cliche, but when I was on this famous road called Going to the Sun Road, which if you go to if you go to Glacier Park, that's the road everybody wants to. That's the road, and I'll show you pictures and you understand why in a minute why it's so amazing. But yeah, it was a lot of fun going on that. So I just kept hitting that road every day, um, going through it. And yeah, here's another spot.
Wow.
Yeah, it literally takes your breath away when you're on that road and when I was looking out, I was like going, oh, like because you're the road is like so precarious
Mm.
and you're on a motorcycle and you're looking down off a cliff face and then you're seeing all these amazing mountains and it's twisting and you're going it was
Yeah. It's like sensory overload.
yeah, it was crazy insane. And then here is right outside that lodge there is Many Glacier Lodge. Um, and that's kind of the famous one and like you can just see some of the mountains there
That
and I
looks
was
like the front of the Shining
yeah
hotel.
yeah yeah a little bit
Wow.
and then here I'll run the video here.
Look at that.
Yeah, the lake is right there and you still see snow in the mountains there and it was like I think it was July, no, this was August I was there.
Hmm.
So let me hit back. Yeah. This is inside the lodge and
Wow.
yeah, it's just all like the lodges I went to and all the national parks were just crazy amazing.
Was it packed
It
when you
was
went? Was it
uh
pretty busy?
yeah, pretty busy. I wouldn't say it was packed, but it was pretty busy. Like a lot that's the season obviously that
Yeah.
people go. And yeah, it was really nice. The I obviously didn't want to stay there. I didn't want to have that experience. So like I was like I want to be out and adventure.
So you got I mean so when you were you're out on your own alone. Um, did you ever have any anticipation of that bothering you at all?
No. That's just it's just the amazing thing is like I just was so ready for it. Like I was like, yeah, bring it on. And like,
Yeah.
and yeah, things go wrong and and like the bad weather and things like it's like hey, you just take it.
Yeah.
You just deal with it. Like you don't get all up in your head about stuff and it's if you don't, it's just you just totally embrace the adventure. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's really amazing. This is starting on Going to the Sun Road there, just at the bottom there,
Wow.
going through. And let's see here.
Look at
Here's a
that.
little bit further, a little bit further up. The weather wasn't too hot that day, but I, since I was there the entire week, every single day, I was going up and down on the on Going to the Sun Road because it was just so
That's
amazing.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So here's a little bit further up, and yeah, you can see like some of the snow that's still up there, and this little ledge wall that's it. And then there's like a cliff face going down, and it's like
Yeah.
at least 100 feet, and then in some places it's a lot more. So like when it starts twisting and you're right by the
Yeah.
mountains, it's insane. So much fun. Yeah, here's another spot. And they have these little tiny pullouts, and luckily I'm on a motorcycle, so I'm able to pull out there. But if you're in
Yeah.
a car,
Oh
it's
yeah.
really difficult. And actually, I think they try and discourage you from doing that just because it's so backed up. Oh, that I didn't mention when I was there. It was so packed that they time your entry into the park for going to the Sun Road because everybody wants to go on it,
Hmm.
and you have to get tickets in advance. And it was like, oh my god! And I was like, how am I going to do this? And then they said, oh, just come back at 4:30, and you can go straight through, and they don't care. I was like, oh, okay. So I just did that every day. I
No.
just went
Wow.
at 4:30. Just went, and sometimes I would go like one way I would go and then just turn around and come right back, because I was, trying to come back to the same entrance. Plus, I got to see get the experience the road from the other direction,
Hmm.
which is completely different depending on which way you're going. Um, oh, this is Lake McDonald Lodge, which is by I want to say the western entrance.
Are those like? Oh, those are cave painting. I was looking at the design of the lanterns.
Yeah, I'm not
Looks like
sure. Yeah, I
hieroglyphs,
guess
but
it's Native American.
pictographed. Yeah.
Yeah, pictographs they have there, and like I said, this is like just another lodge that they had, which is a little small lodge, but it's still amazing.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, here's a little view off of looking at, going to the Sun Road at some of the mountains there. Ah, so eventually that had to end. So then I started, I went through Montana. I mean, I hit everywhere in Montana. And then this was one of the small towns in Montana that I went to after the glacier, which it's called Big Timber. It's it's really a small little town, but they have I noticed online they had a rodeo there every Wednesday during the summer, and it was just amazing. It was literally my first rodeo, so it was my first rodeo. A lot of fun. I actually got to meet one of the cast members from the show Yellowstone. His name is on the show. His name is Lloyd. He's the older cowboy guy. Um, yeah, he was a real nice guy. He was pretty funny. But yeah, you can see the stands there. It's not like that full, but it's so much fun. I really wanted to enjoy it.
Oh,
Here's a great
nice.
shot. An action shot is some of the guys doing their thing. And here is a little video of a guy corralling a
Wow.
cow. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. They had the rodeo clown guy come out and just make all these corny jokes and stuff. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
So much fun. This is where I camped. It was right along the Yellowstone River, like just outside of Big Timber, and just again free site. Just amazing. Right by the river, right by the rivers are wonderful. Sites for camping.
Mm.
This is as I was riding along the some of the back roads in Montana. I was heading up to I think like towards Chief Joseph Highway. One of the back roads there, I was hitting. I was at, and like you just point your camera anywhere. The lighting that day was just all diffused and wonderful. So
Hmm.
like it was just wonderful. The some of the pictures I was able to get. Um, and it's just stuff on the side of the road. I'm just point my camera at it, take a picture.
This is all still in Glacier.
No,
Oh.
no, this is no. This is I had left Glacier.
Okay. I see. I see.
So this is it's not too far from Darby, which is actually where they shoot the show Yellowstone. The ranch or whatever is right there in Darby. So yeah, it's not too far from it.
Got it.
So
Hmm.
this I can't remember where exact it's I think it's called Lewistown Hill. If you look over on the right side of the river there,
Hmm.
that is Clarkston, Washington. So it's very East Washington. Um, and I stayed with a guy there. He part of the bunker biker thing. I'll talk about it. But he was building a bike, and I got to help him with like his motorcycle that he's built. It's just a crazy bike he's making. But yeah, it's just you see the twisty turns on the roads that I was able, and nothing makes you happier when you're on a motorcycle when you see that. It's like
Yeah.
yeah, because um, one of the things that's a big thing for motorcycle people is when you get to scrape your pegs.
Right.
For whatever reason, that really is awesome because you're really dipping in the turns and you know you're doing something. So like that's why they were fun. So um, here is coming out of I was coming out of Clarkston, Washington, and the I forget where I was going. Oh, I was going to Joseph, Oregon, and oh my god, I love that town. But anyway, but and then the road was just one of the most twisty roads I've been on. Like
Wow.
coming up, I was scraping my peg on every turn. It was
Wow.
just really incredible. Here, what do you see like here? Yeah.
Nice.
Just wait, it's going to come around.
Wow.
So yeah, it was just so beautiful. And like I think I have some pictures here of like some of the stuff I've seen on the back road here going to yeah, here
Wow.
like this horse and stuff. Like it just was amazing. The back road. Ah, so then I headed into Idaho, and this is Shoshone Falls. Here, I'll run the video here. It's pretty amazing. It's known as the Niagara Falls of the West.
Gorgeous. Jeez.
Yeah, yeah, it's really just insane. The I was really glad. I was like,
What is that? Is that a house? Well, that's not a house.
no, no, no. That's I think it's an electrical.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
industrial plant kind
yeah, something like that. Oh gosh,
of.
you should if you're a Napoleon Dynamite fan, you'll know exactly what that is. I got a story about that too. The so my nephews were like getting on my case. They're like, "Oh, you're gonna be in Idaho. You gotta go to Napoleon Dynamite's house. You gotta go there." I was like, "All right, I'm going. I'm going." So this is Preston, Idaho. It's it's kind of a cool little town. And actually, there was a lot of spots in the town area. Actually, they're all like within like 3 miles of each other. That were all in the movie, so they must have just went there and just shot like in all these different places. It was just really really fun. So like yeah, that was me
Mm,
doing my Napoleon impression.
nice.
This is Pedro's house. The funny thing about it is I'm like the night before I had stayed with another bunker biker guy, and he used to live in this house. Like I think he rented it out, so he used to live in the house. And actually, I met the lady who lives in that one on the right side there. Uh, she saw what I was doing what
Yeah.
everybody does, go take a picture in front of Pedro's house, and so she came out and she was like, talking to me. I think she brought me like some Kool-Aid or stuff. It's like just friendly, awesome people, and yeah, and like yeah, so it was wonderful. This is Jackson Hole,
Yeah.
Wyoming. Um, these are the people on the left are the hosts that I stayed with, the Bunka Biker people, and they took us on a ride up there. And I think the person in the middle was an exchange student, and the guy all the way to the right is he's another Bunka Biker guy that was staying there the same time
So
I was.
this bunk a biker. This
Yeah.
is like this is like a club, an online.
So it's a network of volunteers, which are basically made up of motorcycle people who allow, open up their house and allow you to stay there for free, for like a night or two. And they're part of, it's just a part of the community.
Yeah.
There's, and it's just awesome. Like, it's a great way to meet people and talk, and
Mm-hmm.
explore the areas, and they tell you where to go. And it's just so much fun. Um, yeah. So if you're into motorcycling, I highly suggest it. And you can check them out. Their Facebook page, and also their website is Bunka Biker. So yeah, definitely check them out. And especially if you're interested in hosting, they're always looking for people to host. Um, other bikers that are coming around the country. That is one of the most photographed barns in the world. It is right in. This is Grand Teton National Park area, and this, you might have actually probably seen this. This barn on like screensavers or let's see, like desktops and things like that for computers, because it's not the barn, it's what's behind the barn, which is obviously the mountain range for the Grand Tetons. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just everywhere you look is just,
Mm-hmm.
just insane views. Um,
Wow.
yeah, that one's pretty good. It's right by their the lodge there. And actually, the lodge there at Grand Teton, they actually use that for um, like political dignitaries when they come in and they have like I don't know, meetings there.
Mm.
I'm not sure when the last time I used it for that, but they do that. At least I was told that. And yeah, this is just insane. There's another, I guess, barn area. Then I went from, so I went from Jackson Hole up to um, Jackson Hole up to Grand Teton up to, and then into Yellowstone. This is, I think it's called Old Faithful Lodge. And yeah, it's just amazing. All these lodges are
Yeah,
just
they're
insane.
incredible.
Just insane. And this is Grand Prismatic Springs, and I think this is the Excelsior Spring or Glacier, or not Glacier, Geyser.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this one I love. This is where I finally saw. And then I got the same thing when I got to Yellowstone. They're like, "Oh, I see bison all over the place." I was like, "I didn't see any." I was there for like 2 or 3 days, and I was getting really annoyed. And then like
And finally, you saw one.
I better than that,
Amazing.
better. So if you listen to them, you can hear.
Wow.
Yeah,
Incredible.
yeah.
And they're
So,
big too.
oh yeah, yeah. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, once I finally saw him, I was like, all right, I can check it off my list.
Yeah.
Here's Old
Did
Faithful.
did they did you have your motorcycle on? Like, does the sound of the bike, did it bother them?
They're used to that,
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that was, but I mean, I turned it off once I was there because I wanted to experience it. Plus, I was
True.
stopped. So
Yep. Yep.
but yeah, they're so used to it, like
Mm.
cars and buses and everybody going through there. They didn't, it doesn't seem to bother them at all. Here's the Old Faithful geyser.
Wow. Look at that.
Yeah. It was a little bit off schedule. I think it was like a half hour late or something, but still work.
Wow. How high do you think that?
Oh, I have no idea. No, 60 feet.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is the falls there in Yellowstone Falls.
Wow.
Keep going back. And there's a good shot of the bison. Yeah. Yeah, and they're all over the road
It's
there.
like the
It's
size of a
wonderful.
car.
Yeah,
Those things are huge.
yeah. I was a little bit like leery, but I had seen so many times before this exact thing where like they're so used to it, so it's not an issue as long as you don't go near them.
Hmm.
You're good. I
Yeah.
don't want to end up in the news, like
Yeah.
being that person. I would. There's some meme where like you know I forget what it is about bison,
I
but
mean, I'd seen a few videos online where some of these motorcyclists are passing through, and they're just like sitting there, and then one random bison goes over there and just like plows into them. Like, oh man.
yeah, as long as you keep your distance,
Yeah.
you're good. You're good with them. This is a glam shot of my bike. This was right outside Cody, Wyoming. Um, yeah, it was really windy there. I stayed there. I think it was Custer
Mm.
State Park that I stayed or the campsite there, and it was so windy. Yeah, I actually that's where I lost my hat because of like the tent was like blowing over and it was touching my face. It was
Oh
yeah, it
my
was
god.
not a fun time, but and try and sleep in that, like just
Yeah.
the wind and just the noise, yeah, but it's part of the adventure. Yeah, so then I headed up into Montana across the border from Wyoming to do Beartooth Pass. That is pretty incredible. The twisty, windy road going up there. That's like on every motorcyclist list as far as one of the roads they want to go on. So lots of fun.
Mm.
This is like up on top of the mountain area. Is one of the mountain lakes there, and you can see the road there a little bit. I try to get like to kind of show like how twisty it is, but it's lots of fun. This is an awesome little spot, and I remember just seeing it. I forget where I saw it. Somewhere I saw it, and I was like, I gotta go there. So I put it on my map. It's the Bear Creek Saloon. It's right around the base of the Beartooth Pass and just outside of Red Lodge, Montana,
Hmm.
and it's famous. If you see there on the left, they got on the bottom there it says pig races. So I'll show you a little bit of what that's about.
Okay.
So it's a lot of fun. It's a great little historic place. It just lots of
There we go.
great food and stuff. So here's the thing about the pig races. I say races in quotations because you'll see they don't really they don't
Yeah.
really go too fast.
Yeah.
But the fun thing about it is like everybody's out back and they're drinking beer and just
Yeah.
having
Yeah.
fun, and you get the bet on the pigs.
Right.
All the money goes to charity, but like it's just fun because you get the bet. On yours. One of them was named Chris P. Bacon.
Ah.
Yeah, pretty fun. So here you go. You'll see, like they kind of mosey around. They don't really race. There's a girl that had to come by and kind of shove them along,
We're number 5 in the
because
back.
they get they get easily distracted by whatever's on the track.
Yeah.
They're trying to, I don't know, hunt for truffles.
Yeah. Number two. Number 2 is in the front, and then it's like, oh.
Yeah, then they just kind of stop. It was so much fun.
Race by proxy.
Yeah. Yeah, here she goes. She got to like shove them along.
Number 1's ahead.
Yeah, I forget which one won. But
Uh,
they'll have like like 5 or 6 races, and yeah, lots of fun. This was in a place called Ten Sleep, Wyoming. It's a little town, but it's on its way on the way towards where I was going to Devil's Tower on the other side of the state. So it's a little town, but this is what they're known. Like the brewery there is like famous. So like they have like this brewery where and I was there. I think I was there on Labor Day weekend, and they happen to have a singer songwriter competition going on there. It was really really cool. And that's where it is. You can barely see them out back there, like they're doing their, you know, their concert performance, and you get to drink beer and hang out. Just oh my god, just chill, and it's just amazing.
There
Here's
it
where I
is.
got to see. Yeah, here's Devil's Tower. I was
See
big
any aliens?
yeah, Close Encounters fan, yeah. So yeah, that's us. I was like, "Where's the aliens?" So what's amazing is every morning they've got these climbers that go up it, and like if you zoom in, you can really see it. See them climbing, and they're just hanging out up on top. You know,
Wow.
they do it all the time. It's apparently just it's not too big a deal. They do it all the time. Here's a little prairie dog. Um, I got to see. They had a whole bunch of prairie dogs around there, so it was a lot of fun. So here you go. Here's your
There's your
alien.
alien.
There's your alien. So yeah, this is in the gift store that's
I love it.
right at the top there, right at the base of the.
Did that actually that? Why did they choose Devil? I don't know if
What's that
because I don't know why did they choose Devil's Tower
for the
as
movie?
alien hotspot? Yeah, that wasn't anything significant, or was just part of the story?
Yeah, I can't remember the reasoning they
Yeah,
used. Yeah, but
because there wasn't anything like there was no mythologies behind, but
I don't
outside of
know.
the movie. Yeah.
I don't know. There may have been. I just don't know enough about it. I didn't research that much about it.
Yeah.
Um, ah, this is in Rocky Mountain National Park. This in Colorado. So I've gone now through and I'm you're just getting the real brief highlights of the stuff because there's
Sure.
so much more that I'm not going to
Yeah.
show
Yeah.
just for time's sake. So yeah, now I'm in Colorado. This is right outside of Estes Park, which is where the Stanley Hotel is, where they wrote The Shining. Or at least was inspired. Um, but Rocky Mountain National Park is just they've got like some roads that go through. It's kind of a little bit similar to Glacier in the effect that like you have to kind of ride through and just see the mountain ranges as you go. But yeah, the thing that was amazing about this was here, I think I have it on the next photo. Is that's an elk doe. So
An elk doe.
an
Yeah.
elk doe, yeah. So that's like the ladies.
Yeah.
And the bucks, the male elk. What happened was, since my campsite was kind of up on the hilltop and kind of away from everything else, so the elk would come up, the bucks would come up in the middle of the night and just start bugling. So here, I think I got a sound of what they sound like when they're bugling, and basically when they bugle, they're trying to attract the ladies. So let me get to that. So here's what a bugle sounds like from an elk. And I heard this all night long. And it wasn't just one, there was like 5. And they were right outside my tent, and they were stomping as well. They were stomping the ground and bugling, and they're trying to get the ladies. Hey, they're trying to get the ladies.
Very nice.
Yeah. Hey, ladies. Yeah. All right. So yeah, so that was pretty amazing. And then like in other areas, not this campground, but I don't want to. I'll kind of do it now just because I don't want to rehook everything up. But there is you heard coyotes at night, so that's there's a little bit like coyotes.
Wow.
And yeah.
And you recorded all of this, obviously. What what were you feeling? And
I never felt like it was in danger or anything like that. I was like, wow, this is pretty cool.
yeah, you didn't feel at all like
No, not at all.
wow.
It's amazing. I did not feel at all. And actually, most of these websites, most of these campsites, when especially like in Wyoming, Montana, and some of those areas, all the campsites had these signs that said, look out for grizzly bears and things like that. And you had these storage lockers to keep your food and stuff in. So
Well,
bear lockers.
where you weren't the only one camping out there at the time,
No,
were you?
this is a national park, so there's tons
Yeah.
of people. But the danger is always there. They do have grizzly bears that come through there. So,
Yeah.
but I never felt in danger at all about any of that stuff. And yeah, so this is that's just a little area
Wow.
and some of the mountainside there. More, it's pretty much like it's a common theme. Like there's just a lot of that. This is at one of the lodges. There's a view going out that is pretty amazing. So after I was done in where was I? Oh, in Rocky Mountain National Park. Went down to the Denver area and stayed there with another bunker biker, a lady named Cece, who's awesome, and stayed there for a while. Oh my God. When I showed up there, it was like I showed up late at night and it was like I'd come through. It was raining, like cold, hard rain, like all night. And I was so drenched when I showed up, like at her house, and she took me in, and I got like under, like got a blanket, and like oh my God, she gave me food and everything. I was like, oh, it was amazing. It was wonderful. She's saved me. So it's really wonderful. But this is Red Rocks, and there's an interesting story about this. So I just wanted to. Red Rocks is a like a concert venue that's outside. It's famous um, in the Denver area, and so I was. I just wanted to go. I was cruising by, like I went through this cool little town called Evergreen, just awesome little town in the Denver area, and I wanted to just get pictures of the Red Rocks and go up there and look at the venue and see that. So I was riding up, and there was a person standing on the road, and they're like, "All right, go on up." I was like, "Okay," so I went on up, and they go, and then I met another guy, and then he's like, "Oh, just go on up near the front." I was like, "Okay," so I went up near the front because they let motorcycles right up there near the front, and then it was apparent that there was an event going on there, and I was like, oh, I wonder what's going on. So I'm looking around, and all of a sudden I see all these people walking up, like these girls in skimpy outfits and like with little cat ears and stuff. And I go, oh, who's playing? And they're like, Nene. And I was like, oh, cool. Like I knew who Nene was, and I was like, oh yeah, Nene.
Amazing.
So I go up. I get closer to the front, and they had you could hear the music coming out. They were playing already. It was an EDM concert, so they had all kinds of DJs playing, and Nene was like the headliner, and who I hadn't heard of. And so I was like, okay. So I went on my phone and got a ticket and went in, and it was awesome. It was so awesome. I can't tell you, like, I think all the world should be an EDM concert just because of how accepting, and everybody was just totally chill and in sync, and everybody got their freak flag on, like they just it was just a real wonderful experience. I really, really like. Plus the music, I love EDM music.
Nice.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun. The thing that was amazing was they had a lot of local fires in the area at the time. I guess they have them all the time, but and so there's like this haze going over, and then noticed a lot of people like sucking on I guess it had to be like their asthma inhaler or something. I don't know. Take with that.
Yeah,
I was in
Colorado. Yeah.
Denver,
Yeah.
Colorado.
Yeah.
where certain things are legal.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it was amazing. And then they had lasers, and they were shooting lasers over your head, and it was amazing. And then the thing that was really cool was as the concert's going on and it's getting really dark out, the all of a sudden, right dead center behind the stage, a moon, like a full moon that was blood red,
Wow.
like came up like right over, and I wanted to take pictures of it, but like you have to lock your phone away. They won't let you
Right.
record
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
So but yeah, it was just amazing. Really good time, a lot of fun. Met a lot of cool people. There's this one girl that was like passing by, and like she didn't say a word. She just held up her hand, and I was looking at her. I didn't know what to do, and then like I took my hand and I touched her hand, and she was like, okay, and then like walked by. And then so like yeah, it was like I met like so many people. There was a lot of fun.
Nice.
So yes, EDM concerts. The world needs more of it. So yes, this is where the broken kickstand comes into effect. So I don't know if you remember back when I was talking about like my kickstand had broke for a different reason, but so I had to reach under to put it down. And this guy was in the road. I think he's a mountain goat, and I think I was going up Mount Evans. This is Mount Evans, and so yeah, I'm bending over and with my helmet on like this, and putting the kickstand down. And this guy thinks I'm ready to charge him, like, or he's going to charge me. He's like, okay, well, let's get it on.
Oh, wow.
But then it wasn't. He just wanted to check out my motorcycle. He didn't know what the hell was going on. But like, I was afraid. I was like, oh, like I just realized it as I was bending over. I was like, oh no. But yeah, he was just checking it out. So yeah, then I saw the family of goods, and this is they had the summit closed off because I think they were doing some kind of search and rescue. So, but yeah, that was pretty cool. Got to see Mount Evans. This is in Colorado Springs. It's called Garden of the Gods. A lot of fun. Stayed with another bunga biker guy here, like just amazing. He's the guy who's taking a picture. Like he took
Okay, I was
me
gonna say there's
around.
another motorcycle.
Yeah,
there.
he took me around the whole area. Just a great guy.
That's a hell of a bike.
Yeah,
It's like a two-wheeled car.
yeah. I can't. I think it's a Honda. I can't remember what it is. But yeah, you see the rock ledge behind you or behind there. And yeah, it's pretty cool. This is Balanced Rock, kind of famous there. And this is Pikes Peak. So you can see the twisty road going up there to Pikes Peak. It's pretty amazing. I think I'm down. Yeah, this is Colorado Springs area. And this is at the top of the summit looking down. This is about 14,000, a little more than 14,000 feet elevation. And here is kind of a look around. You're kind of in the clouds here. And it was cold at the top. Very cold. And they have a train there. You can see, I forget what they call it, like a special train that goes up the mountain. So if you wanted to, you could just do that. This is amazing. This is a spot that I wanted to visit. It was coming south. I was coming south out of Colorado Springs, and it's right on right off of the roadway there. It's Bishop Castle. It's basically made by this guy. His last name is Bishop, and he's just making it on his own. Him and his family are making it, and it's just like amazing. It looks like Game
Are
of
they
Thrones.
still constructing it? Or
Yeah, they're still under construction.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just amazing. The work there. It looks like they have. I think they have weddings and stuff here. Some events.
And
But
so this is a family that owns
Yes.
this, and they just decided to build a castle.
Yep. Yeah, they've been doing it for a long time. I don't know. There's more about it. You can look up online. But I know the guy that he's been having trouble with the town. They're trying to shut it down and because people getting access to. That's why they don't charge you to get in. And then just a lot of stuff. But here's like an
Mhm.
amazing area. Um, just this is underneath that spot we were just looking at. But it was just very cool to see this going on, and I was like, yeah, man. And further south, this is Great Sand Dunes National Park. Um, you can see it's one of the, I think, the highest sand dune in I don't know, in America or the Americas.
Mm.
Um, but it was pretty cool. It was exhausting to kind of walk through the sand because it's really loose, and I had all my motorcycle gear on, so it didn't help. Um, but yeah, people were like doing. They have this board you can you can rent these boards and slide down
Mhm.
um, and do that. I didn't wind up doing that because I was like, it's just there's so many things I had to do. I was like, I can't do that as well. This is Mesa Verde. This is a Indian, Native American, cliff dwelling that they had there. It's one of the best ones here. In the next picture, you can really see a lot of the, how detailed in the construction they had.
Wow. Can you go deep into those, or it's?
Yeah, they actually have tours that they take you down, and you can actually walk through them
Oh wow.
and stuff. But I couldn't arrange that. So, but yeah, if you want to, you can do that. But it's pretty cool. And there's actually a bunch of these cliff dwelling stuff that you can see throughout the area. But this one's kind of the biggest and best version of it. This is in Silverton, Colorado. It is a part of the way along the $1 Million Highway, which is another one of the roads that all motorcycle people want to go on. It's You'll see why. There's another picture I have here that's going to kind of show it, but it's just really insane. The the old mining towns that they had there. Here's the part of the $1 Million Highway. You can see here there's a cliff drop off there, and notice there are no guardrails.
Wow.
And they kind of need not to have them because when they got to keep it open with they plow the snow, they got to plow the snow right off. But man, I would not want to have that job. Guessing where the edge of the road is. So
Jeez. Yeah.
but that was a lot of fun. And this goes all the way up to Ouray, Colorado, which is actually this is the road, the twisty road going into Silverton, where I just showed you before. But I think the next photo is going to be of Ouray. Yeah, it's kind of the Switzerland of
What
the
a cool
West.
town.
Yeah, it's a little mining town and or was a mining town, and then it's surrounded by these huge hills. Then out of there, I went up to the national park for Black Canyon of the Gunnison, and this is there. Camped there for a couple of nights. Yeah, it's kind of amazing. And then here's the Lazy Lizard Hostel, and that's actually where I met up with my bud Spencer, who was gonna be on the podcast but couldn't make it. So I'll have him on another time, and we can kind of talk about the stuff we kind of did. We went to Arches National. This is in Moab, Utah. We went to Arches National Park. Went to here. I'll show you the pictures. This is us. That's Balanced Rock there in Arches National Park.
Wow. Look at that thing.
Yeah, it's this. This is what I'll let Spencer talk about this on the later on. This this is Delicate Arch, which is kind of the famous arch in one of the famous arches there in the park, and you kind of gotta you know drive around and hike and like really get to like you can't just like pull off and see it. You got to really work for it. And when we were hiking up like to see this where we were at, I was like, man, this better be worth it because like we're hiking up this hill and it's getting very close to sunset, and I was like, oh, we gotta get up there, and like so it took us a little while to get up there, but it looks amazing, right? That's due to my camera phone. So this is a little bit more zoomed out of what you're seeing, but you're going to really understand it in this next photo. That's me, and way in the background here, hold on, let me see. You can see that's the arch.
It's a hell of a
So
hike.
yeah, that's like a mile away or whatever. But like we, you so where we hiked up, I was like, you're gonna see the arch. You're gonna see the arch. You get all the way up there, and you're like, what? You're like, are you kidding me? So yeah, I was a little bit annoyed,
Amazing.
and I was making Spencer laugh because he's like, he sounded like Bill Burr or something like. But yeah, it was pretty funny. Yeah, here's the balance rock again. And here's us like after we left because we were both going kind of the same direction. So we were going to go south from Moab, Utah to like I think it was Bluff, Utah, and we were going to camp there. And then the next day he was going to go his way, I was going to go my way, which are different directions. This is a little spot along the way called it's obviously called Hole in the Rock. There's this couple or family that I think there was like maybe there was some kind of like hole there, but they wound up like digging and blowing dynamite out and like clearing out like a big area. I think it was like 3,000 square feet for for their home.
Wow.
So they had their home there. But now it's like a museum. They you can walk around and do that. But I was like, I didn't really
So
care to see
wait,
it.
they live in this rock?
They did at that. This is like in the 30s or so. I don't know when that was, but it was a long time ago. And they lived there. And now it's like a museum and just a roadside stop. So they got a bunch of other little things you can see there. So yeah, there it is. And it was just kind of funny. Like you can't really see it here, but there
Can
was
you go into their old house?
yeah, that's part of the museum.
Okay.
Is their old house? Is yeah.
Oh, cool.
And they had a Jeep like way up on top here. I don't have a picture of it, but they had it's just a bunch of odd things around the area too. They had come see Bigfoot. They had they had signs like come see Bigfoot. So so I finally walked around. I was a sucker. I went there. I went, let's go see Bigfoot. So I went all the way around, went to see Bigfoot, and it's just like this actual like wooden foot that they carved out. And, Bigfoot. All right. Got me. So this is our campsite. It's outside of Bluff, Utah. And yeah, free. We just found a spot and like we camped there for the night. It was pretty amazing. And then yeah, he went off his way, and then I went my way. I was going towards Monument Valley. I think I was going towards. This is Gooseneck State Park. I can't remember if it was Arizona or Utah, and yeah, there was tons for whatever reason. There was tons of German tourists. I think they had some kind of deal because every park I went to, they had like tons of German tourists. I was like, okay. Yeah, I don't know what the reasoning was. If you're a fan of Forrest Gump, you'll know this point. This is where he famously, was running across country and then just stopped and was like, I'm going to go home now. So this is going towards Monument Valley. You can kind of see in the background the mesas and
I love Monument Valley. That was a fun ride.
And then actually down here on the right is or is it here? Yeah, it might be here. It's actually called Forrest Gump Point. So yep. Here is Monument Valley. We went here on our trip, but I was along the way. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna hit it again. This is a famous. You can't really see it too well here. This one and that one. It's the left mitten and the right mitten. You can kind of see it. I'll show you in the next ones. You'll see.
Did you stop by that that big restaurant? Do they still have like that massive taco?
Yeah, it's right here.
Thing?
Yeah. The fry bread. It's a fry bread taco. They call it. Yes. Yeah, it's that's serious business there.
Yeah.
When we went, there's this little Native American Navajo waitress, and Andrew's like, how big is the what do you call it, the fry bread taco? And she goes, oh, I eat one every week.
Yeah.
It's no big deal. It's a little woman, little
Yeah.
woman. And just like, okay, I'll get it. So he got it, and that thing was bigger than, oh
So
my god, it was
big.
bigger than a huge pizza,
Oh my
like,
gosh.
and and it had all the stuff on it too, and
Yeah.
like he just barely ate like a slice,
Yeah.
and and she came by and was like scoffing at
Yeah.
him, like, you're no man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here is, yeah, that's actually the rock that we stood on.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So. So I kind of did that again. Here you can see a little bit better the left
Hmm.
mitten over here and the right mitten over there. So kind of like that. Um, but yeah, it's just, you can just see all these mesas that are out there. And there's a road that goes along there. I wanted to take my motorcycle down there, but I don't think they allowed it anymore. I think they used to in the past, but not
Yeah. I remember that
recently.
we were. I don't remember. We didn't ride through this part, um, but there were. We took our motorcycles around a couple of the mountain areas, and I don't think there was an issue.
No, but this is the dirt road that goes right through the, I forget the name of the road, but like it goes right
We didn't
through.
ride through that.
No, we
Yeah. Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
We didn't. But I think they used to allow motorcycles, but
Okay.
now they don't. So, I want to say that's Shiprock. I don't know what it is. I can't remember the name of it. Here's actually a little pan. And there's the and this is I think it's Marble Canyon back in Arizona. Um, I was kind of using this as a staging area, like a camp spot, and then I was going up and seeing a bunch of spots like in Utah and northern Arizona, um, and I was just using this as like a campsite for the area. This is famous Horseshoe Bend in northern Arizona. There were so many people here. Oh my God, it was packed, and the you can see somebody there with their flag. So many Instagram models and people like, look at me, But everybody's just trying to do the same thing, get a picture,
Hmm.
in front of the thing, and they were kind of blocking it for everybody, and it was getting a little annoying. They had like a crew,
Oh
they
wow.
came with a crew, some of the Instagram people. So yeah, it was okay. I was so surprised by how many people were there. It was really packed. This was really awesome. This was Upper Antelope Canyon. It's a slot canyon.
Hmm.
Uh, you got to walk through it, and actually, I was on a good tour, which was like the last one they had for the day. And you get to walk through this area. It you know
Hmm.
look at that. It's insane. Like you're walking through and looking up, and it's just an experience that you should definitely do if you're in the area. Here's me being a dork. Zoom
Mm.
in. So yeah, this is right where I was camping there in Marble Canyon. This is a balanced rock that they have there, and um, yeah, I just want to get a picture by it when I was going on my way there. Then I went up to Bryce Canyon. This is Bryce. These are the hoodoos. You can see them here. Um, just looking out.
Wow.
Yeah, I hiked down, to the bottom and was like going around and came back up. It was pretty hot when I was there. I can't remember how hot it was, but it was pretty hot. This is actually, I think I can't remember if I was going out of the park, but I forgot to take pictures. This is, you ride right through the archway of as you're going up.
Hmm.
And I think there's two of these. This is where we went, northern north rim of the Grand Canyon. This
Yeah.
is Grand Canyon Lodge.
Which I actually love the North Rim.
It was pretty amazing. That I was amazed by how uh, different it is from the North Rim
Mhm.
to the South Rim. It is an appreciable difference. Obviously, most people go to the South Rim. There's tons more to do. There's
Oh, is it really?
yeah,
In the
yeah,
South Rim?
yeah. When you go to South Rim, there's tons to do. Like, there's not too much to do in the North Rim, but this lodge is pretty cool. Right up
Yeah.
on the cliff face. It's really nice. And that's one of the views from there. You can see they get pollution from like way far away, like cities on the coast and stuff. They'll get and it just the haze just hangs over it. This was my campsite. It was right outside of Flagstaff, Arizona. Um, it was free, and I was kind of most of the time I was here. I was kind of waiting out the rain that was going on there. So it's kind of fun. So then I went up to the south rim. This is the south rim of the Grand Canyon. Um, you can see it's the just it's not as you don't see as many plants and greenery as you look down to the canyon as
Mhm.
you do in the north rim. You see a little bit more of that. Yep. This typical Grand Canyon stuff. Then I was done with that. Then I cruised down through to this is Sedona, Arizona, and this is I can't remember the name of the trail. It's one of the trails here. It heads over towards Bell Rock, so it's very mystical. They got like energy vortexes and
Oh.
vortices, So um, some places are really. So I'll show you. So that's Cathedral Rock. It's a famous rock outcrop that they say is like one of the energy vortices, but the one that's really that one. This is the one that everybody talks about. This one's
Why?
it's the most powerful one.
Why?
It's Bell. It's Bell Rock.
Okay.
It's I don't know. I don't know. You gotta look it up, but like,
Okay.
it's
What
it's
kind of
got a lot
energy?
of energy. I don't know.
Oh,
Positive energy.
positive energy. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
I
good.
think so. It's Sedona, man. But yeah, if you're into mountain biking and
Yeah.
hiking, it's an awesome place to check out. Um, lots of fun. That's a little bit better kind of
Mm.
panorama. Then I headed into this is Scottsdale, I think Scottsdale, Arizona. Um, and this is Taliesin West. It's Frank Lloyd Wright's western southwestern kind of get away from the bad weather in I think Wisconsin was where the original Taliesin is, and this is Taliesin West. It's an architectural school that he had, and most of the the building was based or made from most of the materials they found on site.
Mhm.
And Taliesin, I think in Welsh, means brow of the brow, um, and that's how he liked to place his houses were like at the brow of the hill, which is just a little bit down.
And he's always, I mean, he's well known for being that architect that would integrate nature into his house. Like you'd
Yeah,
see a tree trunk going through a house and that would be okay. It'd be normal.
yeah, and landscape and stuff. The one that I really like that is probably my favorite of his is Falling Water in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
That's it's really amazing. It's right on the waterfall, and
Yeah.
um, this is just another view of it.
Oh.
And I think we go inside here. Yeah, this is the garden room in inside, and he made the furniture too. So he made designed everything. And this is a Titan missile, and so it's a basic.
At the Frank Lloyd Wright.
Yeah, yes. Frank Lloyd Wright was in the missiles.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is right outside of Tucson, Arizona, and it's like a museum. Obviously, it's not operational. It's a Cold War relic, but like, and they at the top there, you'll see it's like open to the well, it has like a, plexiglass on top, and the reason they have that is so Soviet satellites can verify that what's here and what's inside, and that's not operational. It's kind of a museum. So yeah. So my friend Steve, who I stayed with in Mesa, that I met up at the motorcycle rally, we went here together. It was neat. This is historic Route 66, and
Have to hit that.
yeah, a lot of fun. The road originally, it's an old road. There's only like parts of it that are open. Most of it has been, you know, you know, they have bypasses now with other roads because it's so twisty and old and like it was outdated. So, but this goes up right into Oatman, Arizona, which I'll show you where I'm going. And it's kind of gives you an idea of like the stuff that I had packed on my bike. I'm a lot lighter now with all the stuff that I had, but like that was I just too much stuff. Um, this is where I camped. It was right outside of Oatman, Arizona. Another free site, just a lot of fun. And as you're going into Oatman, Arizona, they get ambushed by these donkeys. It's pretty, they're cute, but they're trying to shake you down for any kind of food and stuff. Actually, that one up front there was sticking its head inside that minivan there, and this guy you'll see here, he sniffed out my trail mix that was in my bag.
Wow.
So he was just like trying to get into it. And so this is the main street of Oatman, Arizona. This is kind of like the fun old western town to kind of just check out. A lot of tourists, including me, just to check it out. The hotel there, their claim to fame is Clark Gable spent his honeymoon there. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, big deal. So they got pictures all over the wall and stuff. So, yeah, it's a cute little town. Lots of pretty neat. And here's me and the donkey. And then here's some fun music. You could put some like hillbilly music to this. There you go. So
Nice.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. Then I headed out, and this is Joshua Tree, California National Park, and I've been here. Were we? Yeah, we were here not
Many
on that
times.
trip, but like
Yeah.
another couple times.
Jumbo rocks. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Skull Rock,
Mm-hmm.
kind of famous, and just your Joshua Trees. There's my campsite, right along underneath the Joshua Trees, and at night it was pretty cool. And this is going to be my trip going home. So this is how I'm going to be heading. That's the kind of the plan. I'm going to hit some national parks along the way. Big Bend being one of them. Carlsbad Caverns, White Sands, New Mexico. Yeah, and then just hitting other things along the way. I think that's it.
Amazing. Holy cow.
Yeah, so that's
Jeez.
kind of in a nutshell. There's tons of stuff I did not show. So, because I wanted to kind of keep it brief, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, like to try to compact that into
it's impossible. And
totally.
yeah.
So, obviously, this is the greatest bucket list, or one of the greatest bucket list things you could possibly do. Are you gonna try to synthesize this into something? Do you want to? You're going to be doing more trips like this.
Yeah.
Are you looking to try to make a documentary out of it? Like how would you share this story besides this podcast? But like, how would you share this out with the world, or do you want to? Is this
So yeah, I've been back and forth on it, and I've there was like in the beginning part of this trip, there was so many things I was dealing with
Hmm.
I couldn't really document it the way I wanted to, with video and stuff like that. And it was just too much to kind of handle with all the other logistics I was dealing with.
Yeah.
And plus figuring out stuff along the way. Where am I going to stay? Like, so I knew that was not going to be at least part of the first part of this trip. On this next part, going back, I'm going to try and, use a GoPro and video a little bit more. Actually, I tried the video when I was up at Glacier, going to the Sun Road. Um, I set it up. I had a helmet cam. I was, videoing uh, the uh, the trip on the in to see what it was. I went home or went back to where I was, the cabin, and I looked at the video, and it was nothing but sky. Oh no, no,
Oh
no, yeah, it was
yeah.
nothing but sky.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then I was like, all right, I got it. I'm gonna fix it. So like
Yeah.
had it more tilted down because like as you're riding you change position. So then I filmed it again the next day. Went back, looked at it, nothing but a gas tank. So I was like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna split the difference. So like I tried it, and I think I got some okay video. It's still not
Yeah.
great, but like
It's like you need one of those like Insta 360 cams where it just like gets
I do,
everything, and then
yeah,
you can
yeah,
frame it how you need it.
exactly. So that's probably my next move, or I just got to get better at it. So
I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot to try to document at the same time, and and also try to appreciate, and like there's a lot going on for a one man show.
yeah, and then the battery situation, I can't charge batteries and things like that. Like when I'm on the road and like in the middle of nowhere, like I can't upload it
Yeah.
places. So like it's just a lot of logistics that I was just having to deal with, and that would have just been way too much.
Yeah. So it's I mean it's probably premature to like say that you're gonna have any type of like a book or video or website or whatever. But do you want to talk about any of that?
Yeah, so I do have a website, zenmotorcycleman.com. If you go there, actually, I have a blog there that talks about our 2013 trip. So there's a full blog there
Yeah.
that kind of goes into detail and has pictures and things like that. So that's I mean, that'll explain that. Um, I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do because I have such kind of, haphazard kind of documentation. I will do a photo book. That's, I think, the easiest thing I can do, or at least the best thing I can do with photos that I have. The I may put some of them on the website. I have an Instagram and all the other stuff, so I
Yeah.
can do that as well. Um, yeah, I haven't really decided, further than that. I'm gonna try. I have a YouTube channel as well, so I'm gonna be trying to do like as I get video. I'm gonna try. Obviously, this one will be the first one, and then additional ones will be whatever I can cobble together. Once I get back home and I can, get the footage that I have and see what I can pull together that makes any sense. I might just do some kind of something similar to this where I kind of go through a lot of the pictures that I haven't shown,
Hmm.
and then just kind of walk through what's going on and where I'm at and the experiences that I had. Because, man, meeting some of these people, man, you meet everybody from
Yeah.
all walks of life. It
Yeah.
is just my God, that could be a book in itself.
For sure.
Like the people I met, like. I'll share one story. So there's one guy. So there's one reason to make sure you're nice to everybody. Um, I was at this one campsite. I can't remember where I was, and I was walking, and there's a lot of people there because it was a free campsite, and so I was walking towards the restrooms that they had there, and I saw this guy. He was on a bicycle, and he just had like one of those like baby carriages that he was towing behind that had all his stuff in it. So I was like, I got to talk to this guy. So I was talking to him, and he's like, "Yeah, I've been on the road for like 10 years.
Wow.
I just live off my bike and like
Wow.
and doing that." And then he started talking about like, yeah, and like I was like, had earbuds in us. He was listening to stuff. He's like, "Oh, you got to hear this." I was like, "Okay." So I just held it out to listen to it, and it was like he's like, "Oh, it's everything, man. It's like 100,000 voices all talking at once, and they're, and Ronald Reagan is talking, and Oprah Winfrey is like saying, like, I was like, okay, so straight EDM music, yeah, yeah, yeah. So anyway, so I was like, oh, okay. So then he's like, yeah, the Earth is like has 23,000 geodesic domes that are
Whoa.
reflecting back, like, and like he's,
Wow.
so I was like, okay, but I was like, I had nothing to do.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'll talk to this guy. So like I could tell he's appreciative
Mm-hmm.
of me, just, listening to his story. And he's like, yeah, my name is, and he looked, this is how he did it. Like he looked at his hand, like he's reading his hand. He's like, yeah, my name is Bob Jones. All right. And then,
All right.
and then like again, like at the end of our conversation, I was like, what's your name again? He's like, my name is Bob Jones. All right. I was like, it's like, all right, man, you're all right guy. Like, so like,
Amazing.
so yeah, so later on, like I was packing up my bike to leave, so like I had all this stuff on there, and I was tying the last bag down, and the whole thing went boom, like
Mm.
fell right over. And if you're not used to riding motorcycles, it's kind of difficult to get up, and it's really difficult when it's really packed, weighed down.
Your whole bike fell over.
Yes, it fell down on,
Yeah.
because I
Yeah,
parked like
yeah.
an idiot. Like, so like I was on gravel on like a kind of incline, and
Yeah.
it was surprised it didn't fall over by itself. So that's where I broke the stand. So like so I was like, oh my God, I'm never gonna get this thing up. Like, and I can't, the part of the problem was I couldn't unhook the bags. Like typically you want to get the bags off so you can lift it up. And I couldn't get the bags off because it fell down on the bags, and it was like the wheels were in the air. It was just
Yeah.
bad. So I was trying to think of what to do, and here comes Bob. He's like, "You need some help?" I was like, "Oh my God, yeah, it'd be great if you could help me." So like between the two of us, was no problem lifting it up, and he
Wow.
helped me lift it up. I was like, "So just be good to everybody that you meet, because you never know. Like, just good
Yeah.
karma coming back at you, man."
For sure.
And so then I went down to the I was as I think it was the Yellowstone River. So like we went down the Yellowstone River and like took some pictures, and then I was riding back, and I rode right back by his website where he's at, and he like waves at me, and I was like, "Hey man," I honked my horn. I was like, "Hey, thanks again, good seeing you, Bob." And then he's like, "Oh, like someone listened to me,
Nice.
It's like, yeah, so yeah,
Yeah.
be good to everybody."
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was one of the stories. So like, and that's just one of the people I meet. Like,
Yeah.
so many nice people I met. So and everybody's willing to help and just give advice, or just tell you what's going on locally. Um, and they're interested in what you're doing, because they see all the
Yeah.
stuff packed up on the bike, and they see Florida plates. They're like, "Wow, you came a long way." And then like,
Yeah.
yeah, just start talking. I have a bike, or I used to
Yeah.
ride, and like, it's just a great experience. It kind of reaffirms your faith in humanity, because I don't know, when I was at my place, like before I left, I was maybe getting a little cynical about stuff, not
Yeah.
getting along with some of the neighbors or something. And you just get out on the road, and people are freaking wonderful. They're
Yeah.
really, really great. So yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
So why don't you share your socials or anything like that you want people to go
Sure.
to?
Yeah. If you can throw in the lower thirds,
Yep. Yep.
my information. Basically, it's Zen Motorcycle Man, ZenMotorcycleMan.com, on Instagram at Zen Motorcycle Man, on Facebook, Zen Motorcycle Man. So
Great.
that's pretty much it. And if you go to the website, I have all my other social stuff linked there, so you can just find it there.
Awesome. Well, wow. What an amazing story. I'm so jealous.
It's not over yet.
And it's not over yet. Cool. Well, anything else you want to add?
No, that's pretty much it. It's just being on the trip, I knew there were several points where I was like, this is exactly what I should be doing. I'm so glad I'm doing it, that I know I need to be doing this. It's just
Yeah.
it's been a lifelong dream to be doing what I'm doing, and I'm glad to be doing it. I'm going to be heading back, and kind of rounding out the trip for the year, or for I guess now 2023, and I'm taking off Thursday, which is the January 26th. So then I got a big trip I'm planning in 2024. I'm going to be coming back out here and then going down to San Diego, heading all the way up the West Coast into Canada, hitting all kinds of spots along the way, going into Canada, going Vancouver Island, uh, then up to Banff, Jasper, Glacier Fields, come down to Calgary. I'm going to try and get to Calgary in July. They have that's when they have their Stampede, which is their biggest rodeo, I think, in North America. There, it kind of takes over the whole city. And then I was going to go to, then do a circle around, all the Great Lakes, through Canada, back up and do that, and then come back down.
It just kind of reminds you of just how much there is just in the Americas. Just there's just it's such a dense amount of history and nuance, and just like beautiful scenery and people, and it's so interesting to I mean, you have the opportunity to be able to kind of whirlwind it, which not many people get the opportunity to do that, because you can travel. Most people, if they're traveling or whatever on vacation, you usually get to go to one or two spots, but you get to go and you're seeing as much of the Americas as you possibly can. And then now you're going to, plan to do more of it and more of it. And there's definitely no end. I can't imagine you would ever, or anybody would ever be tired of seeing what we have here.
And that's kind of how I was looking at it. There's so much to see. That kind of goes into the motorcycle I have right now. It's only for, paved roads. And I figure there is so much I haven't seen that's on paved roads that I'm going to just see everything I want to see. Yeah. And there's so much I want to see. I think eventually I'll wind up getting an adventure bike, just so I can, it's not so much that I want to go hit insane trails. It's more that I want to go. I'll not be afraid of going on gravel roads or dirt roads.
It's a huge deal. I mean, I remember we tried to go to Chaco Canyon, and it was, gosh, I think it was once you get the paved road only went so far, and then it was what was it, 5 or 6 miles of unpaved road, which just was dirt, and there was no way. I think we tried to go a half a mile in, and there was no way our bikes were going to make it. And it was something as simple as that. Cars, for the most part, had a decent enough time to get out there, but even
it still was a tough road for even cars. When we went in, it was 13 miles to get to the monument or whatever.
Yeah.
And the first 3 miles in, no problem. They were paved. It's gonna be easy, man.
Yeah.
So then we get, and then the pavement stops, and it's just sugar sand.
Yep.
And washboard road, and there's hard road, and then it's just
No, it was no way.
I knew that there was no way we were gonna be able to do it for as soon as we got to that edge.
Yeah.
But you're like, no, let's give it a go. I was like, dude.
Yeah.
I go, it ain't gonna happen. So we went there, and oh my God, we were going a half a mile an hour.
Not even. Not even. I think turtles could have passed us by.
Yeah, and it was just, oh my God, so painful. Yeah. So we got so far, and then we just pulled over. We just kind of had a come to Jesus moment, and we're like, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
So I got out of there first, and I was kind of hanging out, and then Andrew finally came up. Finally, you were a half hour. I don't know why it took so much longer, but it took you a while. And then I took pictures of you, and you can see it on the blog on the website. And he's actually kissing the ground.
Oh yeah,
the pavement.
It was a godsend for some stable road. Because every time you would you would fishtail if you went too fast.
Oh.
So you've got this, 500-pound, and that's a light bike.
Yeah.
And this thing is like, anytime I moved a little bit, I'm also not trying to like fall underneath my bike. So I'm trying to keep the bike upright. And I was like, it was just chaos the whole time. It
Yeah.
wasn't going to happen.
So yeah, not so Chaco.
Yeah.
we
Not so,
didn't make
yeah.
it. we
Cool.
didn't make it there, but yeah. But it was so funny because you see like mostly there was like Native American guys, and like you see them like passing in these huge like pickup trucks,
Oh,
these lifted
yeah.
pickup trucks, just like racing.
Yeah.
I don't think they were even on the road. They were on
Yeah.
like on the sand,
Oh,
like
yeah.
and they were just looking at us like, what kind of morons are these
Yeah.
guys? Yeah.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, we definitely look forward to hearing a lot more about it, and then and so we'll stay up on the websites, and you're planning on coming out here again in 2024, right?
Yes.
Next year.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll
Get ready for it.
do a part 2.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Feels
Thanks,
good.
y'all.
Thanks.